Hi everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, so my birthday is on Tuesday. Thank you, I am turning 45. Which means I have gray hair and zits simultaneously, which is pretty bullshit. Yep. I already lost where I'm at. So the transition into middle age it's subtle. It feels sudden, you know. One day you're cutting up lines at a stranger's apartment. Next day you're cutting your salt intake in half. It's you know. You've been drinking a little bit of wine.
Just a little bit. But
yeah. So which means, you know, being middle aged, I'm currently about 30% depressed 100% of the time. Maybe it's because I'm 50% of the way to 90, which also means I'm 50% through this task of life, which is pretty good because that's the most percentage of a task I've completed in a long time. I used to be 90% depressed, 10% salty. I had already cut my salt intake, so. Yeah, so while I was going through that, I decided to try something called psilocybin. And if you don't know what psilocybin is the term that white people use to decriminalize magic mushrooms. Yeah, so anybody here ever done the magic mushrooms? Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna tell y'all that was the... What? Ayahuasca. All right. Well, haven't done that journey yet. But I will tell you, the mushroom journey, that shit was the best shit I've ever had in my life. And I'm not talking about the mushrooms. I'm talking about the actual shit that I shat the next day on the toilet. A trip, more like a colon cleanse. That's the real magic of magic mushrooms. I don't know if I released any depression and trauma that day, but I certainly released the icing that had been hanging out since my high school graduation in 1997 from that cake. Yeah. The reason why I was so depressed a little bit ago was, you know, I had to become a caregiver for my mom. My mom had a stroke. It was pretty sudden. And overnight, I had to take care of her, and it was a lot. It was very lonely. Anybody ever been a caregiver? It's a depressing time. It's very lonely. It's very isolating. She required a lot. She requires a lot less now. It's much better now. I just have to dust off her urn sometimes. So yeah, I'm 45. I'm 45 now, which means that I've been married for about 5.5 years. I got married, I was almost 40 when I got married. Thank you. I waited a long time to get married, to lock it down. I was very curious about life. So I had a lot of life to live before I got married. And also I was maybe a little bit bi-curious. Yeah. And I rectified that when I got married. And I wasn't like just listening to Tegan and Sarah being like, oh my God, there's women, my lesbian awakening. No. I was listening to Tegan and Sarah with my now husband, who is a basic white woman. Yeah. He's really into pumpkin spice, decorating for Halloween. Tegan and Sarah. There are at least 3 murder documentaries a week in my house. He gets very excited to tell me about them. Currently very into Chapel Roan. I just want to say that my husband he's a man. He's very much a man who happens to be a lesbian. All right, that's my time, y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is it Kyle? Who's Kyle? Kyle, you next to me is Kyle. Somebody, Kyle. There we go.
Let's go!
Kyle somebody.